Ahsoka, Episode 5, titled Part 5, Shadow Warrior. Now, this episode is absolutely fantastic. Like, look, after watching the episode, I had to really, like, sit down and process what did I saw. I had to process it, because it's very easy after seeing something like so well done to go, oh my god, this is the most important thing ever, this is the greatest thing since Star Wars since ever. Like, it's very easy to go that way, right, after just seeing it. So I'm like, okay, let me sit on this, let me give my thoughts, and I will say this, it is the best episode of Ahsoka. This is the best episode of the show. And it's all about Ahsoka. Like, it's all about, like, character stuff. Like, the thing is about Ahsoka in the first four episodes is, we get it, she's stoic, she's a Jedi, but she isn't really showing much character, and she isn't really reminding me of the Ahsoka that I saw in the few anime episodes I have seen. Because, like, even from, like, Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, you know, shows and episodes that she's been before her own show, I'm like, she's not stoic. I don't remember. I don't think she was stoic. I always saw her as playful, and there's a little bit of cheekiness attached to Ahsoka. But in her own show, she's like the least interesting character. Like, we all talk about how great the bad guys are. Oh my god, the villains are wonderful, the villains are wonderful, the villains are wonderful. And Ahsoka is like just stoic, and just her arms are folded. By the way, there's a lot of arms folded in this episode. Anakin Skywalker does that a lot as well. Spoiler, who's in this episode. It was teased last week, Jesus. You know, arm folding. Minus, we in the Clone Wars, if you're not lifting you do the arm fold. When you're not doing the lightsaber. Again, she's a Jedi, she's meant to be stoic. But in this episode, she gives us something. Ahsoka gives us a sense of character, a sense of why she's acting so stoic in the last 4 episodes. Does make us go, God, she's a bit of a slog, isn't she? She's a bit of a one-note type of character right now. I mean, come on, Filoni, this is your child here. You created her. You know, from all those years ago with Clone Wars and all that. You Rebels and that. Come on, this is not a good way to make her look cool for the average goer, making her stoic. She's too stoic, come on. But this episode gives us a sense of character, a sense of why she's acting that way. It all comes down to, oh, she is worried that she's going to become Anakin. She's worried that, hey, my master turned to be and turned out to go to the dark side in the worst possible way to imagine, being the Emperor's, you know, white-haired man. And I'm worried that the apple won't fall far of the tree. And having Anakin there in the psychosis, in the world between worlds, which I'm trying to figure out what the hell it is. Like, it's something from Rebels. And I'm like, so it's time travel, but it's not time travel. Like, you can look into a mirror and see what has happened through history, but you can't walk into it. So it's Gallifrey, basically. I don't get it. Can someone please explain what the hell is this world between worlds? But anyway, that, you know, Ahsoka's in a good chunk of this episode. But her talking to Anakin, I mean, here's the thing. The last time she talked to Anakin, it wasn't the best way possible, okay? Yeah.
Ahsoka.
Anakin. I won't leave you. Not this time.
Then you will die.
If you're a fan of Clone Wars, seeing that relationship, that friendship between Anakin and Ahsoka, is seeing that in live action, and you're seeing Hayden Christensen playing, OG Anakin is, in the Clone Wars gear, talking to, a young Ahsoka, which, as the Padawan Ahsoka, the one who fought in the Clone Wars, all that Ahsoka. Here's the thing also, whoever play young Ahsoka, that's not easy. You are going to fight, build this friendship, buy everyone, buy that you are this animated character from this particular show at this particular time, in the timeline frame, and also you have to buy to the average goer that you are that same person, not just by the looks. Not just because you have the, always face and tail, you have to make us believe that this is the same person. By the way, disappointed that we didn't hear Sty Guy. Sty Guy, that's what Ahsoka calls Anakin, Sty Guy. Anyway, so, but it's not easy, and I'm like, give you some props. I will clap to that. That's, whoever she is playing, young Ahsoka. I actually thought we might see teenage Ahsoka. I don't know, maybe like a recap of that, the fight from Rebels. I don't know, the sense like, have both of both worlds and all kind of stuff. So you're like, hey, it's Ahsoka fighting Anakin and Darth Vader at the same time. But yeah, it's all about insecurities. And even Anakin's like, really? You just worry that you're going to turn into me. Okay. Really? Okay, if that's the case, let me just go evil on you and start slice and going forward. Oh, sorry, I did have a kick. I was like, he did the little spinny thing. He did the little spinny lifesaver thing that he does. But the weird thing about it, like, yes, you got the Clone Wars stuff. Yes, you got all these Easter eggs. Yes, you got Hayden Christensen being probably the best version of Anakin ever. I mean, this is what happens when you have a director who actually likes directing actors and who has at least a good, decent script. Yeah, you get good performances. Because it's kind of known that George Lucas is not a big fan of actors. So, and we all know how not so well written the prequels were. To the point, I won't lie, there's a part of me that's thinking, hey, why not make a trilogy of Clone Wars movies? Maybe, pick the best moments of, pick, the big 3 stories of the Clone Wars anime series to as a bridging gap. So in a way, you kind of get the fans of the prequels as it's their Force Awakens, you may say. And the average goer gets to see that a relationship evolves, and because right now the average goer just sees little tastes, you get a little tease and taste of what that story is, and we all know there are certain people out there who are a little bit like, animation's not weird. I don't want to see any animation stuff. If it ain't live action, it's not counted. There's those people out there. So give them some live action Clone Wars so they can say, yeah, it's actually canon. But here's the weird thing about it. I'm talking about the whole Anakin in the first half of this episode, and I'm only 8 minutes in. There's also another half of it when you think the show is actually going to end, and you realize there's that extra 20 minutes with the whales, and I'm like, the space whales, which I knew were a thing. I knew that the space whales was a thing, but I just didn't want to believe it. And this is one of the situations where I wish I watched Clone Wars a lot more. Or I wish I have seen Rebels. I wish I watched the Rebels. After Doctor Who, that's what I'll do. I'll watch Clone Wars and Rebels. and view it all to you. But yeah, all the Anakin stuff is so well building on Ahsoka's character. And when she's out of the world between worlds, she's this whole new person. She's all bubbly and brightful and sense of hope, and is just like, yeah, what the hell? And it feels like more like the Ahsoka that we know from all the other media than this stoic version of her. And but here's the thing: knowing that we only 5 episodes, we only got like 6, 7, 8, and then we're done. I guess there's gonna be a bunch of people who are going to be like, so you've been talking about Thrawn for like the last like 4 weeks and making a big deal out of him. Where is he? I feel like he's gonna be Voldemort. You know how like in Harry Potter,